Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to make this quick video because I will probably not be able to make any more videos during the weekend. So I wanted to make this quick update and until Monday that I will be posting my next video, because I have seen a lot of videos on YouTube and a lot of ideas on TradingView talking about these Elliott Waves on the Bitcoin chat. And it seems like anything is an Elliott wave, and anything is a corrective wave, but it's not exactly like that. To identify Elliott waves, you actually have to use math, and you actually have to do some research. This one here, some people are saying that this is an ABC correction. From here, ABC, this cannot be an ABC correction because it doesn't meet the requirements to be an ABC correction. For an ABC correction to be true, the vertical distance of A needs to be equal to the vertical distance of C. And we can see here C is a lot longer than A, as we can see here. So this is not an ABC correction. I mean, it doesn't have to be the exact number and the exact decimal, but it has to be something very close to be an actual ABC correction or ABC pattern. For example, here in this first bubble for Bitcoin, we have, this is a qualifying Elliott wave with the leg number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is a qualifying ABC correction because the vertical distance from this top to this bottom is about the same distance from this top to this bottom. I actually took the time to research this and to actually do the math, but if you want to identify and count Elliott waves, you need to use math and you need to use Fibonacci. Otherwise, you're gonna say that any wave is an Elliott wave, and it's just not like that. So you can see here, I'm going to use the Elliott wave impulsive. So from here to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a qualifying Elliott wave, and I'll tell you why. Okay, and from here we have the A, B, C correction. So for this to actually be an Elliott wave, and this one is an actual Elliott wave, so the first rule is that the bottom of the number 2 cannot be lower than the number 0 here. In this case, it's not lower. The second rule is that the leg number 1 cannot be longer than the leg number 3 or number 5, and in this case, it's not longer, especially the vertical distance. Okay, so leg number 1 is not longer than 3 or 5. The bottom of number 2 is not lower than the number 0. Then the bottom of number 4 cannot be lower than number 1. In some cases, it will be lower. You see the wick of the candle a little bit lower, or actually at around the same level with number 1. But the candle didn't close there. So in these cases, when we have this very long retracement, if the candle doesn't close below this number 1 here, and we have the wick, this usually sets up for the next leg to be longer than normal. But in a common Elliott wave, the number 4 will be higher than number 1. And in some exceptions like this, when it goes that low, it retraces that low, it means that the leg number 5 will be a little bit longer than normal. Usually the leg number 3 is the longest one of all. But when we retrace a lot, sometimes the leg number 5 will be just as long as the 3, or sometimes even a little bit longer. So that rule was respected. And then for the ABC correction, as I said before, the vertical distance of A needs to be the same vertical distance with C, which is this leg here. So let's see if this is true. If we go to the very top, to the very bottom, this distance should equal the vertical distance from this top to this bottom. And as we can see, where this stick finishes, it's at the same horizontal level with this low here. So this is an actual ABC qualifying pattern. But what we have here, this cannot be an ABC, because the vertical distance from here to here, it's obviously too different with the vertical distance from this point to this point. I mean, it needs to be something close from here. Okay, so for an ABC correction to be valid, not only the vertical distance of A needs to be equal to the vertical distance of C, but it also, the retracement, which is B, needs to be on a Fibonacci level of either 61.8, which is the typical, the most common one. It will retrace to 61.8, sometimes to the 78.6, but if not the absolute minimum, it needs to be the 50%. In this case, we are at the 61.8 and actually just touch the 78.6. So this is a qualifying ABC corrective wave here. But in this case up here, it cannot be. First of all, the distance from A to B is not the same as from B to C, and the retracement, it's not valid either. If we use we use the Fibonacci retracement tool from top to bottom, the retracement is actually at the 61.8. Okay, so the retracement was valid, but then the distance from B to C is way longer than it should be for a qualifying ABC correction. So this is definitely not an ABC correction from here to here to here. More likely the ABC correction will be from here to here to here. So we've got this drop here, and then we had the retracement. If this is the end of the retracement, 61.8, almost 78.6, so it's valid, it's within the range. So according to the Elliott wave theory, it's more likely that from here we go down here to have the same vertical distance from this top to this bottom. We would need to go to 2,500 to have a complete ABC corrective wave, and from there it would probably bounce. There's an 80% chance. The pattern ABC or ABCD is one of the only patterns, if not the only one, that has an 80% chance that if it's completed, you're gonna have a reversal and go into in this case, into an uptrend. So this would be the trend line. So it's not crazy to think that this is gonna go down and bounce on the trend line to complete the ABC. Also, yeah, it's gonna be also probably or close to touching the moving average on the daily, on the weekly chart. Okay, so that's all for the quick Elliott wave tutorial, a little bit more extended. I'm gonna leave it here, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.